Did you watch the Golden Globes?
No, but I read all the tweets. First of all, shout out Julie. Julie texted me and said, you should have done a Golden Globe Sisters Who've Seen It bingo card with all the shows that you guys have done for your nostalgic, because basically everything we've done has been a winner. All the shows. We did The Bear, Abbott, White Lotus.
Wow.
That's it. And then we did do Stranger Things, but I don't think that won for anything. Not that I heard of, at least.
Seems like we have good taste, huh?
We do, listeners. Okay.
I just love that when Jennifer Coolidge wasn't winning and she was announcing, did you watch that?
No.
She went into this whole thing that she was like, yeah, they asked me to announce. And I was like, oh, wow, I'll do it. And then I picked up the phone and was like, I can't do that. That's terrifying. And she like went step by step through all of the anxiety moments. She was like, first, it's a long walk from the back of the stage. I could fall. And then she's like, second, then I have to like read the prompter. I can't see that far. And then she was like, third, she kept going like all this intricate stuff. And then she was saying how like they were like, we can have somebody read like cue cards in the audience. She's like, I can't find them in the audience. And then she was like, and then what if I find the name and I can't pronounce it right? And then so she like finally is done and opens up the envelope and she like announces the name and she's like, did I get it right?
Yeah. She used to do stand-up comedy.
God,
I feel like
just
she would have really good if she, I mean, I love her as an actress, of course.
There is a certain amount of people in life, and there's probably like a beautiful vocabulary word for it, that they can tell a really boring story in such an exciting way that they're like captivating. And I think she's in that bucket.
Yeah.
I think Dad has some of that. Dad has that when
definitely
he puts effort into socializing.
Right. Did you see the video of Mike White drunk accepting the award for White Lotus? And he was like, everybody passed on this show. You and you and he literally was just like, you all are stupid. Thanks for who supported me. And everyone was like, Mike White, you're amazing.
Wow. He really is Jennifer Coolidge's character. He's Tanya in real life.
This is Tanya on the boat before she bonks her head. Like, that's you, Mike White. We love you. Like, oh my God.
These gays are trying to murder me.
I wish he said that. Damn.
God.
Yeah, there's definitely more. I want to watch some recaps and stuff. And then the acceptance speech from, oh God, what's his name? It was his first Golden Globe win in his life. And he was in Goonies.
Who?
Data.
Data?
Yes. He was in, and I really hope this movie like kills it at the Oscars because I've heard such good things. I really want to see it. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Okay.
And Michelle Yeoh won her Golden Globe because she's the star in it. And then Ke Huy Quan. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong.
Okay.
He won.
And he was Data?
That's Data. And in his acceptance speech, he's like crying. And he was like, Steven Spielberg gave me a chance when I was a kid. And like, oh my gosh. And then Steven Spielberg was in the audience like, it's you. And I was like,
oh my God, I could cry thinking of that.
Oh God.
I want to watch this then. I don't know anything about the movie, but obviously it's really good.
I hear it's very like trippy. It's because it's like the main character keeps traveling through different like universes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I kind of got from it. And also Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. We love her.
Wow.
So yeah.
Iconic.
I want to see it. But anywho, yes, a lot of good things from the Globes. When are the Oscars? I'm gonna write that down.
I don't know.
Oh.
When are they? March 12th.
That's far away.
And if Eminem does not show up,
people don't forget. Wow.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
I wish I said hello in a Benoit Blanc. Hello. Nope, that's Professor Snape. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't even know how to do it.
His accent is like, do you remember Looney Tunes, the like rooster? Who was like, I said. That's what he always reminds me of. But I don't hate it.
I can't unsee that now, Kate.
I mean, yeah, let's be real. Oh, I'm going to introduce ourselves. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And this is our nostalgic happy hour with Glass Onion.
A Knives Out mystery.
Colon. Yeah. So apparently the director was like pissed. He had to add that little thing on the end. Isn't that weird?
Why?
I don't know.
Like the studio made him do it?
Like to add the Knives Out part, he was like, ugh, God. But I was like, but what's wrong? I don't get it. But he was the director from the first one, so what?
And his name is Rian Johnson.
Yes.
And I read that he conjured up the idea of this in the middle of COVID because he just wanted to like be traveling somewhere beautiful.
For this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the first one came out before COVID because Mary and I saw the first one in theaters and it was really good.
So wait, are they like the same movie? Like, are they totally different?
Well, it's still like rich people are dumb.
Okay.
And a woman ends up being on top, and then Daniel Craig is the Southern Benoit Blanc. And it does kind of have somewhat of the same formula of like somebody dies and you're trying to figure out like what happened, and you think the first half of the movie you kind of see that it wasn't what we thought right away, and then like midway through you're like, wait, it wasn't what we thought again. And then at the end you're like, wow. So yeah, I guess it's kind of the same.
Okay. This is such an easy movie. Like you can watch this on like a Wednesday night, having some fun.
Yep.
Because I feel like it doesn't make you work hard, even though it's doing a lot.
Yeah, and this was my second watch through because I had watched it before, and then I was like, I'll watch it again now that we're doing it, and like it was very interesting to watch it a second time.
Because
like I feel like
more about that.
I feel like kind of what you said, like it's easy to watch, and it absolutely is. But when you watch it a second time, I definitely notice things that I didn't notice before because you're like wouldn't ever notice them unless you knew how things were gonna turn out. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. Well, Bridge, we need a synopsis.
I think it's your turn, Benoit. And I only want you to do a Benoit accent.
Oh God, Bridge, my accents aren't great. Well, I said. I can't do that.
That went up my nose.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm sorry, but your aunt Tula is amazing.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Yes, my Benoit Blanc's not as good. Okay. This is an ensemble piece. So we have many characters.
Wow.
And
a lot.
Most of them are pretty dumb. But the plot is it's a group of friends who are all well off, and they get invited to a private island of this guy, Miles. Miles is played by Ed Norton. We're going to have to talk about this character of Ed Norton because Bridget and I did Fight Club and we had opinions. Oh, I said.
He's good at playing people you hate.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. So the characters are Miles, who's like, everyone thinks I'm a genius, and everyone like kind of treats him that way at first. And he's super rich, and they're like, he's so smart, and like, look at all his influence. And he's like, we're all disruptors. Like, you know, we don't do typical things. Like, we're so out of the box. Like, we just don't do what you expect. And like, that's the best. And I was like, ew, I think is this a documentary? Because I think this is a real conversation at Elon Musk's house, and I hate it. Anywho, so that's Miles. So he invites his friends to his island because he's like, wait, I have a murder mystery party. Whoa! And it's also during the pandemic, which is its own commentary.
So funny.
But then that kind of like goes away for the most part because you only see stuff like that in the beginning. And then when they're on the islands.
They do, and I think they quote it like a Men in Black, like,
oh my God,
COVID gun thing. And then I think that was their way to be like, we don't literally want to talk about COVID anymore. So like that plot is done for like now 80% of the movie.
Yeah, where Ethan Hawke shoots a questionable substance in everyone's mouth. And I was like, Ethan, no. All right, so that's them. Then we have Birdie, who was played by Kate Hudson Queen. All right.
She was great.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? She'll tell you. She is an ex model, and again, I thought this was kind of like funny, weird. Is her character is like, oh yeah, I made like sweatpants, and I was like, but doesn't Kate Hudson own like a workout clothing brand?
Yeah,
Like, this is
I
kind of
think
weird. Like, what are we
so.
saying? Like, what? So she's a blonde, and it's like, she's so dumb and whatever. And she tweets things that are racist and horrible, and she has a PR assistant whose job is to steal her phone so she doesn't say terrible things. You're like,
Wow.
what? Okay. Then we have Duke, who is played by Dave Bautista, who I don't know if you knew him before this bridge, but he is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah. This is a very macho alpha male. Essentially Joe Rogan, honestly, is how I pictured it. I was like, so you're him. Cool. Lives with his mom. Yeah, I get it. All right. And, you know, he's like, brings a gun everywhere. So
All right, take that for what it is.
there you go. And he's like a YouTube channel or Twitch or something.
He's like
shit.
super men's rights.
Yeah, because they're so oppressed. Okay. Then we have Catherine Hahn, Queen. She's Claire. She's a senator, governor. I don't know, something in Connecticut. She's something. She's great, and she, you know, is very like serious. And of all the people, I'm like, you're not the one I think would be friends here, but fine.
I feel like they could have done more with her.
Yeah, she was a little too like serious. I was like, you could be funny. It's all right. Funny.
I don't know. She's a little underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we have Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Lionel, who is a scientist. And I'm putting in quotes because I do have questions about, is he, I don't know if we have an actual science degree.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but yep. And then we have Queen Janelle Monáe, who technically, Bridge, spoiler alert, plays 2 characters.
And is phenomenal at it.
She's so awesome. So
Wow.
she plays Andy, who is like the ex-partner or whatever of Miles, and she was really the one that kind of came up with the whole idea of the business that ended up making him billions of dollars. And we come to find that he like cut her out of the business in a shady way because he wanted to do something soups illegal and deadly that we'll talk about. And she was like, no, that's dumb. And then he got all the friends to like lie in court against her, so she lost everything.
Oof.
And then we find out she gets murdered halfway through the movie. And you didn't know that because you saw her on the island, but that was her twin sister. And I forget her name. Claire? No, it's not Claire. What's her sister's name? It's not listed in IMDb, so.
What is it?
Cassandra? I feel like it's that.
Yes.
Okay, so we meet Cassandra because she essentially goes to Benoit Blanc. Benoit Blanc.
Benoit.
He's the world's greatest detective, but he's not Batman. That's a quote he says. And she's like, someone killed my sister, but they're saying it's suicide. And like, look at all these dumbasses going to hang out on an island. And he's like, we should totes go and you should be your sister and let's do it. And then she's like, okay, we. So they do. And so then, you know, we think there's more murder and there actually is some murder, but we don't know who it is. And then Benoit Blanc solves the fucking case because he's the best. And then everything explodes at the end, which I'm like, that's always fun. It's like a 90s Sylvester Stallone movie at the end.
There is like the cinematography in itself. You don't even need the volume. Like you could just watch the prettiness and action and just like
glass
all
and
things.
Fire and everyone diving out of the way. Yeah.
I also feel like you need to talk about what the Glass Onion is a little bit.
Oh, right. That's the title. So the Glass Onion it's a building that Miles had built on his private island, and it's literally just looks like a fucking onion, but it's made of glass. And he's like, isn't this like so cool and like unique? And then Benoit Blanc appropriately is like, Glass Onion is pretty fucking dumb because an onion is supposed to have layers. So you can't see what's inside, but now we see the inside, so there essentially are no layers, which is a metaphor for who the killer is because it's all so stupid and obvious. And I was like, I love this. And then it is also a Beatles song, as you pointed out before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he built this like giant glass onion building. Which
so
is
stupid.
Like, Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's also a lot of like cameos that I think as we get into it, we could talk about all these like random super celebrities that just show up.
Yeah, Jared Leto's hard kombucha. Why? The fuck?
Damn you, Jared Leto.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's get into it. And I think it's important that everybody, and this is where when he was writing this in the pandemic, everybody is like dying to like get out and go to this trip. One, because I guess if you have a billionaire friend that sends you to like epic trips, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And also like you can't do anything. Like the world is shut down.
Yeah.
And so I felt like they all had the same energy that they were like, yes, can't wait to do this thing. And in my mind, not seeing the movie, I was like, oh, the mystery begins. So like with that box, I was like, oh wow, what does the box tell them? And like, who's murdered from the box? And like, then the whole thing being like, solve my mystery, my murder mystery. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, someone killed him.
That's
and
what I actually thought the first time.
Once he was murdered, this secret box is sent, and then they have to go figure out who actually killed him. And I was like, okay, I need to like calm down. This movie is like way chiller. You know?
Yeah, no, I was the same way. The first time I watched it, I was like, he's already dead. This is crazy. I love that opening because they focus so much on like the different people, because you're meeting the characters, like the friends. So like, okay, fine. And they're kind of like, whoa, this is so cool. We're opening a box with like puzzles. And part of me is like, I feel like I would like that like once. But if this is your good buddy for years and years, and like every fucking year you're sending me a dumbass like puzzle box, no. Okay? It's one and done for me.
Also, let's talk about how come Macho Man gets to bring his lady friend, but no one else brought their spouse.
He has a +1. I don't know Bridge, because she was like, you know, doing hanky panky.
She was hanky panky.
Her name was Whiskey.
Yo.
Why is that her name?
In another life, what if your name was Whiskey?
I'd be sad. Why is the name his name? That's horrible. Could you imagine if you met a baby and its name was Whiskey?
You're like, right here's Whiskey.
Is that Benoit Blanc's niece? Yeah.
Honestly, it's amazing she's lasted this long.
I don't know.
So that they all go on like a group phone call and they're like, the chessboard, it goes here, and then 47 divided by the Latin phrase goes there, and then it's blue, because blue is 72 of oxygen. And I was like, oh my God. See, this is where I would do, and I love this scene, is Janelle
oh my
Monáe
God.
just taking a hammer to it. And I was like, you know, it
amazing.
literally is just like a physical box. You can just break it. So I love that.
I thought that was awesome. And then it's also funny because you later then find out, like, they're all like, oh, Miles, what a genius. And I'm like, ew, this feels like a weird Twitter thread that I did not subscribe to, and get it off my feed. Gross. And like, then there's the Janelles who's like, we're gonna just beat the shit out of this with a hammer because it's so fucking dumb and a waste of my time.
I loved how everything, and this was like the Ed Norton piece I loved, everything that he did to like cultivate this like epic experience. He always complained about how he paid some people to do it.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I paid this person to make that box and only
God.
this many, and they barely made it in time. And then I paid someone to come up with this entire murder mystery, and then you figured out and solved it. And like, I looked at the movie like, oh, Daniel Craig's character is so smart. But now knowing what I know, I'm like, oh no, he was just like so stupid.
Yep.
And all these people he paid so much money to was just like, sure, we'll just do this, you know?
He's a glass onion, Bridge.
He really is.
We see right through him, and there are no layers.
Okay, so we got a ragtag team.
Ugh.
And COVID is real, but then they get a Men in Black shot from Ethan Hawke, and then COVID's not real.
Like, they were probably like, Ethan, you're my next door neighbor. Come on down. I'll pay you $20. And he's probably like, fuck it. Let's do it.
Wait, and let's talk about before then. Benoit Blanc is in the bath, and Hugh Grant is what, his roommate? Or is he his lover?
I think they're lovers.
Oh my God, what a great crew. And Hugh Grant's like, honey, you have to get out of the bath. And he's like,
what the fuck?
I haven't been here that long. And he's on a Zoom call with
Angela Lansbury.
right before before she dies, by the way.
Respect. The Tasha Lynn.
Oh my God. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And Steven Sana, how do you say it? Sondheim? The Broadway guy.
Yes. Oh my God. And I'm just like, what is happening? Because this guy's life is so cool. Because when the pandemic happened to me, I was like sad on the couch and he's like on a cool video chat in the bath with like a ridiculous hat and Hugh Grant cooking for him. I was like, the pandemic looks pretty good for you. But I loved his backstory of like, I can't think. I need something to solve. I need something. And then the fact that Janelle Monáe's sister, so let's call her Claire, right? She's Claire, the sister.
Well, I think it's Cassandra.
Oh, I thought Cassandra was the...
No,
wait,
Claire.
Cassandra?
Claire is Catherine Hahn.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so...
Wait, it doesn't actually say Cassandra. Let me look it up. I'm gonna Google.
Okay, so when she found him, she was like, I literally Googled the best detective in the world. I'm like, wow, good SEO, sir. Like...
Yup.
Like, so yeah, I like loved that. Really good, like interesting backstory.
Oh no, Cassandra is the long name of Andy. So I don't know what the sister's name was. Helen.
Okay. Helen's the sister
Helen's
who plays
sister.
Andy.
Cassandra/Andy was the one.
She
kind
of pulls a Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap, so it is confusing.
Dude,
so let's just call her...
It Takes Two, but like they're actually related, and there's no Steve Guttenberg. That's right.
So like Lindsay Lohan. And
okay, yes. Yes.
But check out our It Takes Two episode. Thanks.
That's a great one.
So I love that I didn't know any of this, and when he shows up on the boat, I'm just like, okay, cool. He just finally got something to do.
Yeah.
And all these people are so random that you're like, why can't he be a part of it? So it's really funny that Miles plays it cool.
Oh
that he's
God.
like, hey, and then he like takes him aside and he's like, why are you here? I didn't invite you.
How'd you get here? I was like,
That-
sir!
Katie, can you imagine if you and I just like rolled up to Elon Musk's like dinner party? Because and we just pretended we were supposed to be there, and then all of a sudden he's like, so why are you two there? And we like pull out a little invite card. Can you imagine?
And we're like, we're actually the world's greatest detectives, and your life might be in danger, so we should chill. By the way, where's your open bar? And can you write me a check for my services? Thank you.
Yes, can we do a podcast on this?
Oh my God.
I thought it was so funny. So at first I thought when you're meeting all these characters, I kind of looked at them all and I'm like, okay, they're very good supporting characters, but I thought I was going to be annoyed with Kate Hudson's character.
Oh yeah.
But she did it so well
Yeah.
that I didn't. I'm like, man, she, like, that's why I thought she, like, played this role really well. Because it's a pretty annoying character.
It's annoying, but it's also, like, the picture you get is, like, okay, she says, like, terrible things without thinking, therefore, you know, has, like, terrible worldviews, whatever. But she wasn't the type of person who was sitting there, like, tossing out racial slurs every 2 seconds. And even Duke really wasn't like that. It was kind of like, we know that's who you are, but you're not doing that in front of me right now. So, like, it's more tolerable. So I think that, like, helped with all that.
And they were just money hustling.
Yo.
Which, here we go. Kate Hudson, Birdie. I'm a truth teller. Some people can't handle it. And Blanc says, it's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth. Ooh!
Girl!
Burn!
Again,
Hugh
Twitter.
Grant
Guys, it's
knows.
Twitter. Have y'all seen Bridget Jones's Diary? She speaks the truth with thought. Okay.
Okay, so they get to the island, and then this is really funny to me that that the dock of the island is like made of ice or something.
The fucking oh my God. So Leslie Odom's character, Lionel, he's like next to the fucking like the boat captain, like driving the boat, and he goes, oh wow, is that a Banksy? And the boat captain, this was like a White Lotus moment. The boat captain like spoke like Greek or something, and he goes, piece of shit. But he said it like quickly, and then he was like, oh cool, like is that the name of the island? Like in the language? And then he like literally repeated like, piece of shit. And then I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like, no, documentary. Like I really firmly believe that all of this happens in real life with people who she like
Okay.
put so much stock in someone's genius.
Mm-hmm. I'm really going down the rabbit hole of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Pants Bridge! How?
Where who's the one that goes to Greece?
Oh my god, Lena.
So Lena, I feel like that was Lena's grandfather driving that boat.
And he's like, this is a piece of shit. My fucking granddaughter's making out with everyone. I'm over it. I get it.
But, and then the other thing is like, they're shocked that Janelle Monáe shows up.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my god, they're like, why are you here? Like, this is so uncomfortable. And I don't know about you, Kate, but if you've ever had like a weird friend group, something, and someone shows up and you know that they're not supposed to be there. I was like into the gossip. I was like, what's going down?
What happened?
And then I loved that you had Benoit because he got to be like the idiots like us, that they're like, okay, so here's what happened. It's very much as we learned with Die Hard, speaking out the plot.
Yes.
So
and
that
the
was cool.
The first half of this whole island excursion, we don't know that Andy, who is really Helen, knows Benoit and that they're working together. So I did find it funny that a lot of times he was like, oh, and what's that? But you're like, Blanc, you already know. You're the world's greatest detective. You're on Google. Come on, silly Billy.
Wait, and I did think that, and I feel like this is a missed opportunity, but she was like a third grade teacher, right?
Yes.
And I was like, I wanted so bad that last scene where she literally blows it up. I wanted her to be like a chemistry teacher where she's like, little do you know that back in Alabama, H2O plus carbon plus fire equals science. You know, you're as dumb as a third grader, you know, and like nail it at the end. But it was
she just
good.
whips out a whole game show and she's like, are you smarter than a third grader? Because you're
like,
not.
No.
And now you're going to blow up. Yep.
No, I do think, and you know, let's be honest, Kate, there's certain people we grew up with that like have this over the top richness, but having that car on display.
On the fucking glass pedestal.
I was like, I feel like we know people like this that are just
definitely.
I think the mentality that's so oblivious is like, I'm so proud of myself and I love this thing. So I just want to show my love for it and completely ignore the like utter absurdity, you know, and like the disgusting show of wealth.
Yeah.
I just was like, what? He's like having a Porsche rotate up there.
And then Benoit's like, is that a car? And he goes, yeah, that's my car. It goes with me everywhere. And he goes, why is it there? And then he goes, because there's no place to drive it. As if like, duh, I'm so smart and out of the box thinker. And I was like, no, you would fail the physics test because car in air on pedestal plus wind. This is Janelle's third grade lesson equals crash to the ground.
Wait. So I thought, because again, I was like going to way too far with this plot. I thought, oh, when he killed her, he drove there with the car. So he has to hide the car. So maybe he's hiding the car on the island.
No, but that is somewhat true because that's the car that he drove in when he ends up, killing her.
Oh, okay. So he was still hiding it.
But I don't know if it was like
That's
I don't
smart.
think he was as smart to be like, it's a purposeful to hide. I believe him that it's like, no, I bring it everywhere because it's like, you know, important. I was like, ew.
Okay, so I thought what was also super cool about this is you learn all these different reasons on why they need money, right? They're all like suckling at the teat. Didn't they say that so many times? They're like suckling at the teat of Miles Braun. But what was so cool is you had Benoit doing like one little mystery hunt, and then you got to go backwards and watch Helen do the same scenes, and I'm like, that's really hard to shoot. Like, I feel and do that well. Yeah. And so it was fun to like rewatch scenes from different perspectives because I feel like they really like played out the movie, and I was like, oh, this could get boring, but it was so interesting.
But see, that's how I felt when I watched it the second time because I was like, now I'm seeing everything the second time, and it's like crazy.
Is it
to like
good?
just see some of the stuff. Well, because you know, it's when you see her arrive at the dock, everyone's like, and initially, well, halfway through the movie, when you find out, okay, Andy was murdered, and this is Helen, and we're trying to figure out who the murderer is. So when you replay that dock scene in your head, you're kind of like, they're shocked because they thought she was dead, and so everyone's like faking it, but then you find out, no, they were just surprised she was there, and all that. So it was like little things like that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't.
So much
So
to
they-
think about.
So they didn't know she was dead. Just
No,
Miles.
they did not. Only Miles knew. But if you rewatch, like when I watched the second time and I see some of the scenes with him and her where he's like, hey, you're here. Like he says it like that and you're like, it's because she's dead, but she's not.
Wow.
It's so cray.
The layers
The
of the
onion.
onion.
Gotta get to the core of the onion.
Can you
bitch.
imagine at the end of the movie if like Shrek just like shoots him in the face and he's like, onions are for ogres.
Onions are for ogres. I fucking wish Shrek came out and went apeshit.
Okay, I think you keep hammering home a very important part. Is just because somebody is a billionaire doesn't mean everything they do is brilliant.
They're so dumb. I thought a lot about Theranos and Elizabeth
oh
Holmes.
my god.
Did you catch the Theranos reference? It's like a very quick.
Dude, tell me, because I feel like
when I think it's when Helen is explaining to Benoit, like, okay, so my sister, they said she committed suicide, but I think she was murdered, and then she kind of gives some of the backstory on the people. You get like more like detail, and you get detail of like what happened with her sister and Miles, and then she talks about the whole napkin thing, where she was like, the whole court case was based on intellectual property, and she was trying to argue that she came up with it because she did, but then he got everyone else to basically lie and say that he came up with it. And so because of that, he did a photo shoot where he's wearing a black turtleneck. He's holding the napkin like this. And he's like, stare. I'm going to send you, because someone did a side-by-side of Elizabeth Holmes doing that with like a drop of blood thingy or like a pill or something. And then it's like his side-by-side. It's like the same fucking thing. It's so fucking funny. I died.
Well, I love that. But I really like the unraveling of being like, okay, all these people don't actually think he's that smart. They just need to kiss his ass for money.
Yeah.
And then you're starting to be like, which by the way, now I believe this is so real everywhere. I think I think of like Harvey Weinstein and like, how the fuck could people around him like create that empire? But like, they all need money, you know? Blech. So, I'm like, okay, I'm into it, and I believe the, like, threat level.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we quickly get to what's the dude's name that gets murdered?
Duke.
We quickly get to Duke just, like, passing out.
Before he dies, though, I laughed so hard at the scene where they're at dinner, and then fucking Miles is like, all right, guys, so murder mystery. It's really challenging. Like, no one's gonna get it. It's gonna take you, like, all weekend. And then they're kind of asking questions, and Benoit's like, do we win a prize? Which I was like, that's exactly what I would ask. So thank you for speaking my thoughts. And then literally they're like, okay, did the game start? And he's like, yeah, whatever, sure, I guess we could start it now. And then Benoit's like, it was Bernie. Bernie did it. And he fucking explains the whole thing. I laughed so goddamn hard.
His character, I don't know why he doesn't play more comedy, because
he's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. And I don't know if it's because we're like thinking of him as James Bond in the back of our mind, but I could watch seasons of him play this exact character over and over and over again.
So a lot of people are trying to be like, yo, you should do a Knives Out with Muppets, but Benoit's the only human. And he's just himself, and then everyone else is Muppets. Like, how amazing would that be?
He would be the Michael,
fucking
wait, what's his name? The Christmas
Michael
Carol?
Caine.
He would be the new Michael Caine. Oh my god. I love that idea.
I just feel like that would be so fun.
That would be so funny. And like the silly Muppets, you know, like the ones that are just like, I don't know, over the top.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, that to me set the tone. I was kind of taking it like, this is pretty to watch, and all these people are like very shishi. They got like beautiful clothes. It's a beautiful backstory. You're getting very like Richie, over the top snobs.
Yeah.
And then when he just like cuts him down like that.
Oh yeah.
It humanizes.
It was great.
So this is like a perfect example, but there's a video of Elon Musk bringing out a new car with like the shatterproof windows. Do you remember this?
No.
And he goes, it's so strong you could take a sledgehammer. And he takes the sledgehammer and he breaks the window. And so everybody's like,
fucking moron.
Idiot, you know? But his like super followers are like, is he an idiot? Or did he do that on purpose to get big press?
I swear
and
to
I'm
God.
just like, that's it. That's this whole like thing. But in this specific scenario, they all were like, we can't save you because like you're so upset. And then he like goes on to tell how he paid all these people to do this mystery.
I paid her a lot of money to come up with this. I was like, oh God, you're so annoying. I can't.
Oh my God. So then we get to, he's like, well, whatever, we're still gonna have fun. And everyone's like, I kind of just want to go home. Can I go home?
You're like, this is terrible.
Oh my God. But oy. Then Duke dies. And I was like, now it gets into action. So we were in like White Lotus, beautiful, to like, ooh, gossipy, to like, you know, kind of the Clue-esque beginning. And then I was like, now we're in action. And action to me, when I think of Clue, I think of fucking Tim Curry just running. Remember him like running back and forth?
Run across the whole library.
That was like Helen and Benoit. It was like, like Helen was just like her Fitbit, like 50,000 steps.
And she was in heels, girl. Should have had it on.
Crazy. Just going nuts.
And the lights go out and it's just like very so the movie, what it does is when you watch the first time through and you watch the scene, if you actually look, because this is what I'm talking about, like where I would have never looked at this during this scene the first time through when I don't know what's happening, is they literally show Ed Norton's character Miles hand the drink with the pineapple to Duke. Like, it's on film, you see it the first time through, but that's not the focus of that scene, so like you're not looking for it, so you don't see it. But then what they do is Miles then at one point after Duke dies, Miles is like, oh my God, he drank my drink, someone must have poisoned my drink. Like, he's trying to whatever cover his butt. And then when he says that, the film does a quote unquote flashback, but it's not what actually happened. It's like a different scene of Miles putting the glass on the table because that was his story, and then Duke grabs it, which isn't what happens. And then when you go back at the end, Benoit's like, you're a fucking idiot and you did all of this, you're so stupid. They show the actual scene and I was like, oh my God, the cinematographer needs a drink. He needs a gift card to a spa because I can't imagine.
Can you imagine
all those details?
Can you imagine like, the showrunner, like or the movie, whatever you call that person you made? Like, there's just a red string like to like 87 places.
I just picture like the giant chaotic crime scene corkboard where it's like, okay, this is where this goes together. I was like, that's what's happening. This is insane.
I love that you brought that up because it became like literally Clue. Like, and you did this from Professor Peacock and blah blah blah. Professor blah. But then all of a sudden it gets real because Helen gets shot.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, somebody, like, it's not Duke because he's dead and he's the only one that had a gun, but his gun was gone. So now she's shot, but luckily the journal saved her. So nobody knew she was shot. And I was like, oh shit. Because in my head I was like, oh shit, this sucks that she died.
And when it's like you think she dies and then you find out like, oh my God, that was like the sister. And then there's a lot of like talk where she's like, I'm scared, Benoit. And he's like, I know, it's scary. Hopefully none of us die. And then it's like, you think she died and you're like, shit, dude. But then she's alive. So it's all good. And then the bridge, the Jeremy Renner hot sauce saves the day. It's another reference.
So many like celebrity. Oh, this screw you, Jared Leto, and your hard kombucha.
I mean,
I feel like too. So they think that Helen's dead, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, we got to get out of here now." Now they're like, "There's 2 people dead, and like this ain't good, and we got to get out of here." Yeah. And then a part of the movie gets a little dull. Like it's like, okay, like what's really happening? Mm-hmm. Because then she has to like run away and like try to find the napkin, right? Because it's all about like if you can find the napkin.
She's trying to find the napkin, which was in the letter, which her sister had emailed to all of them before the sister died, and was basically like, I found it, you're all fucked.
Yeah.
So, but it is the napkin.
But she does find it.
Yes.
All the way up where the glass onion
is. Glass onion. Oh, see again. You're like,
right in plain sight. Right in plain sight.
Not again.
So then she gets it, and boy, does she come down, and everyone's like, oh, you're alive again. And
Yeah.
Because they're never thinking it's her sister, you know?
Yeah.
And then she goes on like a tirade about how he's a piece of shit and this and that. And then I started to be like, I don't even know what's happening. Now I'm just watching like a shit show happen.
It was a shit show, and I just really appreciate how Benoit Blanc goes on a whole monologue about how fucking Miles, like, makes up words, and he's like, that's not even a word. Like, he's just saying stupid shit, and nobody's correcting him. This is a bunch of bullshit. And I was like, again, this is daily thing on Twitter. Like, Benoit, get a Twitter. I'm telling you, you'll have a good time. You're gonna keep yourself entertained.
Can we start a Benoit Twitter account?
That has to exist, and I'm following them right now. Oh my god, it was great. And then that's where he essentially is like, Miles is an idiot, and he's so dumb.
My
and
god,
he did all of this because he's stupid. We hate him. And yeah, then it's just.
Yeah, and then they specifically, like, go down the rabbit hole, like, no, you killed her, and then he was like, oh my god, you're so dumb, you killed her!
Yeah.
Like, after the court case was won and she sent an email saying that you're a liar, you actually went and killed her? Like, that's the dumbest thing I could think of.
You did it. Like, not even, you didn't even buy anyone else to do it. Like, you did it because you're so stupid. Dude, I mean, I don't know, Bridge, he might end up on the next season of White Lotus, right? Portia's gonna take him down as Harriet the Spy.
Wait, I'm seeing, Greg. I'm seeing Greg get screwed over by Ed Norton's character, and Ed Norton steals all his money. What do you think?
God. I love it. I love all of that.
Wow. Because they go to an island in Greece. Okay.
And then Lena's dad from Pants is there.
Okay, I love it so much, but it is kind of sad that, like, people are still dead. I was like, this is still sad that her, like, sister's dead. Yes. So I kept thinking when he did burn the napkin, because, like, he still, like, kind of won. I was like, oh, man, like, there's no good ending to this.
But see, to me, I'm like, but he still killed Duke, and can't we kind of justify that?
Yeah, but he's, like, bought everybody. Like, he's got
But at the end, they do turn on him, because she kind of is like, didn't you see him do that? And then they all were like, yeah. And, like, it was kind of a turn, but...
Yeah, but still, it's like, would they really fall through with it? And so I feel like this... I just loved that we went, Kate, you and I know that really good movies have purposeful parts.
Yes.
And seeing Helen foreshadowing, breaking the box to all hell. Yep. And then at the end, he's like, Helen, do what you do best, Helen. And then he gets
a little...
kombucha, Helen.
He's like,
wild. Get drunk and lose shit. And her just, like, smashing everything. And then so what I was understanding is it's like a piece of hydrogen.
Like, it's like a little atomic bomb. And so he's like, it's gonna power our homes. Yeah.
Well, and so the whole house is, like, full of gas. That's why, like, things just, like, light on fire or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how did they light the napkin from so far away? You know? That was a little weird. But her then, the Mona Lisa, this is such a good ending. The Mona Lisa trapdoor of, like, I'm so rich, and I was like, I don't want it to be behind these fancy glass doors. So I created this, like, secret way to see it up close, and then her being able
and she runs and just, like, smacks the thing open.
Oh god, it's so good.
Fucking awesome.
Well, because in your mind you're like, not only can you not come back from this, but then they, like, went on and on about how your name will forever be in history books with the Mona Lisa. And I was like, I love it! It's so good!
And then at the very end, Benoit is fucking smoking a cigar, watching everything explode, and he goes, disruption. I was like, hell yeah.
I'm telling you, I want a TV series. I love this. Where him and Hugh Grant are always doing something silly in the kitchen, and then Benoit goes on an adventure, and that's every episode.
Every episode. It'd be great. I mean,
oh god, I'm so here
fun.
for it.
And I want him to always have to go in a pool and keep all of his clothes on, because I thought that was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I was like, why are you in the pool with an ascot on? What's happening? This is not Scooby-Doo, sir. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's great.
It was really great, and you know how it's like comedy is kind of hard lately. Like, there's a lot of try-hard movies.
Yeah.
And this was so funny. I'm sorry. This, like, really was... Kate, great pick.
Well,
Seriously.
you technically picked it.
I mean,
but
I picked it.
I might have influenced you behind the scenes.
Wow.
I really think you should watch the first one.
I
don't
want
know
to now.
where you can watch it, but it's like, again, all the characters are like super famous people, and it's the same kind of. The first one's interesting because all of the characters, for the most part, are all in the same family. So it's funny because you're like, y'all are related, you dysfunctional fucking crazy people.
Oh,
and
I
then
love
there's
it.
Benoit, who's like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
Oh, I love that.
it's
Yes.
so great.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow. Well, what do you think,
We did it.
Bridge? Would you watch or don't watch The Onion?
You gotta watch the
Watch
Glass
The Onion.
Onion.
Get The
And
Onion.
don't take it serious. Have some fun. Put it on
Mm.
whenever. You know, you're like, I can't sleep tonight. And my mind is racing and I need Benoit to help me. And you just press play.
And then when it ends, you can watch some Looney Tunes to keep the party going in your mind. Do it.
I do
it or
declare.
else. I declare. Like, when I saw the first one with Mary and he first spoke, I like whiplashed to Mary and I was like, oh my God, why does he sound like that? And like, I was not bought into it the first minute. And then I very quickly was like, never mind. It's cool. I'm into it. It's great.
That is Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. Exactly what it is. What?
Wow.
Oh, yes. I would also watch Glass Onion. I would also blow up all of Miles' shit if I was there. If
You
Bridget
would
and I-
be
if
so
Bridget
good
and
at
I
that.
snuck on the island, even if there was no murder or like nothing, I feel like we would still end up blowing everything up somehow. Just be like, that's not a word! Everything blows up.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I love it
All
with all my
right.
heart.
Well, Bridge,
Wow.
I have our next pick.
Ooh.
And so, Bridge,
Hmm.
you know me, and if you know
yes,
me,
I do.
I like to be a disruptor in your
boo.
sense of security and safety. No, I don't like doing that, but I
Is it
do
a
like
horror film?
horror movies.
Wow, what is it?
Bridge, listen. This is a good one.
Oh,
This
okay.
This is a iconic one, okay? And even
Wow.
though this technically, I don't think people think of this in winter, I think of this in winter because it has a lot of like an isolated feeling, which sometimes we feel in the winter. Y'all remember The Shining?
I was just
Katie
gonna
getting
say, you're-
stuck in a bush. Do you
you're-
remember that?
You're
That's
giving me
me.
Shining vibes.
We already did The Shining, so we're not doing that again. But
Okay.
this is from 1979.
Whoa.
This is a very classic, iconic movie. This still holds up. The main actress, I do not believe we have done a movie with, which makes me sad all day because she's the best.
Wow.
It is a horror sci-fi. I'll read you the synopsis. I feel like you're gonna know it, but here we go. The crew of a commercial spacecraft encounter a deadly life form after investigating an unknown transmission. Oh, maybe you haven't seen this?
Is this Alien?
Alien!
Ah!
The first
It's
one.
scary.
Have you seen it?
I feel like a long time ago and I'm scared. Is this
No.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yes! We haven't done any movie with her, right?
Wow. No,
Right?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
God,
don't think
we've
so.
We've done a lot of movies, so I don't know.
We have. I can't keep up.
Me neither, but yes. Oh, I fucking love Sigourney in this.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna give this to you. We had to get this done. But 1979?
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is Ridley Scott and
Wow.
Alien. This movie, a lot of sequels and then prequels, plural. And I believe there is a new prequel something coming out, something. I don't know. I've seen
Wow.
most of them. You know, first and second ones are A+. The rest, we kind of go downhill. So that's that. But I really like this movie.
Would you say it's out of this world?
Wow. I guess. I suppose it is. Here's what I'm going to say about this movie. Y'all ready? This is why this movie's good.
Y'all ready for this?
Spoiler alert. The lady lives and the cat lives. Thank you. Good night. That's all I need. That's all I need in my horror movie. The animal
Wow.
lives and the lady lives. Thank you.
Wow.
Mhm.
All right. Can't say the same for Halloween.
Bridge, this is not a glass onion. There is layers, there's
Oh.
symbolism,
Oh.
there's inspiration, there's
Oh.
female empowerment.
Wow.
We got a lot lot going on here.
The 70s were wild.
Try not to watch the movie on a 1x1 inch phone screen. Try your best. Maybe your Airbnb is a TV. I don't know. But, you know, it's going to be good. So, yeah. Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
Just want to say,
Yeah.
if we snuck on a boat that led to the Glass Onion Island, or whatever this island's called, and, you know, Elon Musk was like, whatever, you guys can hang out. It's fucking fine. And he was like, we're going to have a murder mystery, and there'll be one winner. I would ask, will we get a prize? And then he better say yes, and it better be more than an iPad. And then I would whisper to you the solution, and then I would let you say the solution so you can win the iPad and whatever else, and maybe share with me. And then we can blow everything up.
I was following that, and I was like, I think Katie forgot the plot with this one. Kate, if there is a fail switch on, like, a Van Gogh, I will tell you, I would toss you like a goddamn potato towards it so you could light it on fire, because I know you'd have a blast doing that.
I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity destroying precious artwork.
Well, just to take down an evil billionaire that's gonna mass murder people.
That's the main, that's the main
why
thing.
we love art.
I do love a redemption. What can I say? I love when idiots get their comeuppance.
Comeuppance.
Miles is an idiot, so yeah. And listeners, if you also think that a lot of rich people are terrible and rude and use made-up words.
Let's correct this, okay? It's billionaires.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say a lot of rich people are the worst, but billionaires to me is another level of, like, how did you get there? Something's not good there.
Someone should go to jail. Soon.
But you own the jail, so you won't.
But they can, so great. Yes, so if you think that, and if you would also blow up everything possible with Janelle Monáe, and if you think that Benoit Blanc should have his own TV show, and, like, get the Muppets on there too, please and thank you. You should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So this was our nostalgic happy hour. Once a month, we do a pick that's not nostalgic, either a TV series we talk about or a recent movie. So if you have a suggestion, even if it's for that, put it on there and we might end up doing it. But we also take our nostalgic picks. Okay, it's winter. It's cold. It's cold. We're going to space. Bridget's not happy. I don't know. Maybe give her a pick. They'll make her happy.
Please.
Do it. Because, you know, that's nice.
Come the fuck on, Bridget.
Bridget. And Bridge, what else can they do on the website?
They can buy us coffee.
Woo!
Which we will secretly poison to take down the billionaire who is actually going to poison everyone else. I'm just kidding. You could just give us money.
Okay.
And it's like a tip jar. And also, you could buy merchandise.
Whee!
And that represents our names. And then everyone will be like, what? You're so cool and unique and different. And they'll be like, you don't know a Sisters Who's Seen It? And then they'll be like, what? I gotta get on right now. And then you buy that for them.
And then we can make our glass onion, which will just be Shrek and Tanya drinking in the pool, fully clothed. And Bridget and I are there too. And Benoit. Yep. So, check all that out. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Alien. Bridge in space. No one can hear you scream.
Oh, I hate it.
Come on, I could have done way worse. You're about to go to a freaky log cabin in the fucking, like, wilderness. I could have done, like, Evil Dead. I could have done The Thing. Like, I'm being nice here, all right? You're not going to space. We're all safe. Come on. Jesus. Oy.
I do love me some female empowerment. So I'll see you
awesome.
there. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Woo! Die Hard reference! I love you!
I love you. I love your glass onion. I love you. Take them down. Bye-bye. I love you.
I love
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things Sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.